What if the life you know is nothing but a fragile construct, a grand illusion crafted to keep your soul asleep? The sages of old understood this secret, calling it Maya, the great veil that conceals what truly is. And now it's time for you to lift that veil. In ancient times, the sages whispered of a prison without walls, a labyrinth woven from the illusions of the mind. The Hindus called it Maya, the veil that distorts reality. What if you were one of those prisoners, chained not by iron, but by beliefs passed down through generations, unseen yet unbreakable? But who holds the key to this invisible cage? And more importantly, who benefits from keeping you there? The matrix is not made of wires or machines. It's made of ideas. Stories whispered to you in the quiet of your youth. Follow the script, they said. Go to school, get good grades, find a job, pay your bills, retire, then fade into the shadows of time. What if that script was never yours to follow? What if the system wants you distracted, exhausted, endlessly consuming, with no time to think? Ask yourself, why does the news flood you with fear? Why do the distractions never end? The sages knew this long ago. There is no prison more secure than the one you do not see. Pay close attention. This moment isn't random. It is a calling, an ancient signal echoing through the corridors of time. If this truth has found you now, it means you are ready to awaken from the dream you were born into. Can you feel it? That strange discomfort, the hollow ache in your chest that no amount of work, distraction, or fleeting pleasure can ever truly erase. You've tried to outrun it, drown it in endless busyness, but it always returns. That's because it isn't emptiness. It's an ancient invitation, a summons from deep within your soul to remember who you really are. The ancients knew this, the Egyptians, the Greeks, the shamans, and the mystics of the East. They all spoke of it, the veil that blinds us to true reality. The Hindus called it Maya, the illusion that binds the mind. Plato described it in his allegory of the cave, shadows on the wall, mistaken for the whole truth. Yet this ancient knowledge was buried, replaced with a hollow material world where only what can be seen, measured or bought is considered real. But that's the lie. Look around you. Millions are trapped in this illusion, living on autopilot, following a script they never chose. Day after day, the same patterns, the same worries, the same struggles, all while believing that this endless hustle is normal. But it isn't. And now that you've glimpsed the truth, you can no longer turn away. You wake up each morning and grab your phone without thinking, scrolling through endless distractions, already feeling the weight in your chest before your day has even begun. The same thoughts, the same worries repeat themselves like a song stuck on an endless loop. It feels familiar, doesn't it? Like a story you've lived too many times. But what if I told you that this repetition isn't a mistake? That it's not a series of bad choices, but a carefully designed system meant to keep you right where you are? This is not by accident. Your mind is a pattern machine. It repeats what it knows, what it was conditioned to believe. If you were told that life is hard, that love is pain, that money only comes through suffering, those beliefs were imprinted on your subconscious. And no matter how much you wish for a different life, something deep within always pulls you back to the same place. Because your mind doesn't care about your happiness, it cares about survival, and what is familiar feels safe, even if that safety is built on pain, scarcity, and fear. But you are not your mind. You are not the story it tells you. The great sages have always known this, and they left us clues, a way to break free from this endless loop. This is your invitation to step beyond the illusion. The repeating patterns in your life are not coincidences. They are signs. They are the keys to awakening. For centuries, this knowledge has been hidden in plain sight. It is written in ancient texts, whispered through sacred teachings, and carried by the wise ones across generations. Jesus said, "The kingdom of heaven is within you." But where did people look? Outside, always searching for salvation in temples, churches, and leaders. Buddha taught that all suffering comes from the mind's attachments and illusions. Socrates challenged his students to question everything they believed, to strip away the false until only truth remained. And Hermes Trismegistus, the father of ancient wisdom, left us this teaching. As within, so without. As above, so below. What does this mean? That your external reality is nothing but a reflection of your inner state. The time has come to reclaim this ancient wisdom. You are standing at the edge of a great transformation. This isn't about escaping your life. It's about seeing it for what it truly is, a mirror of your mind's deepest beliefs. Change your inner world, and your outer world will follow. But first you must wake up from the illusion. Each thought, each reaction, each belief that you've held onto is part of the program. It whispers that you are small, powerless, a victim of circumstance. It tells you that the world is happening to you, that you have no control. But that is the greatest lie of all. The great masters have always taught that you are a creator, that the world is happening through you. What you hold within shapes everything you experience. The repeating patterns, the feeling of being stuck, are your invitation to change. They are not your enemy, they are your guide. The more you resist them, the tighter they hold. But the moment you observe them without reacting, something magical happens. You begin to loosen their grip. This is the first step to awakening. You are not here to merely survive, repeating the same cycle over and over. You are here to awaken. You've already felt it, that subtle shift in your awareness, the sense that something greater is waiting just beyond the edge of your current reality. And now, there is no turning back. You've seen the truth and it's calling you forward. Stay with me, because what the sages knew, the ancient secret buried beneath centuries of noise and distraction, can transform your reality. It's time to awaken from the dream and step into the life that has always been waiting for you. In the silence of your mind, a dangerous loop unfolds. Trauma, fear, and regret become recurring echoes that haunt your thoughts. Each time these shadows rise, they whisper the same familiar tale, a tale you've come to accept as truth. The story repeats, not because it is real, but because your mind has mastered the art of conjuring illusions. These echoes carve pathways in your consciousness, slowly shaping a reality that feels unshakable. You begin to believe this version of yourself, the one wounded, betrayed, and left wanting, is your only truth. But here lies the greatest deception. This story is a mirage, a phantom narrative that imprisons you in a cage of your own design. Each thought, each relived experience becomes another link in the chain, binding you tighter. The mind, relentless in its need for the familiar, pulls you back into this labyrinth of suffering. And in time you forget that the key has always been within you. This prison is not built with stone or iron. It is built with thoughts, conditioned patterns, and the relentless echo of the past. Yet in this very moment you have a choice. The cage is real only as long as you believe it to be. But the moment you awaken to the illusion, the walls crumble. The stories lose their power. The echoes fade into silence. And for the first time, you stand at the threshold of freedom. Free not because the world has changed, but because you have reclaimed the truth of who you truly are. And as long as you believe that, you remain bound to the wheel, spinning endlessly, just like a soul caught in the karmic cycle, unaware of the freedom that lies within. The system thrives on your survival instincts, keeping you in perpetual motion, chasing a mirage of progress that recedes further with each step. The great sages of old spoke of this trap in many ways. The Hindus called it samsara, the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, an illusion that binds the soul. Like a hamster running on its wheel, convinced it is going somewhere, you too are caught in this web of false promises. Work harder, they whisper. Success is just around the corner. But the finish line always moves a little further ahead. You work tirelessly to earn more, to acquire more, to settle debts that seem eternal. And all the while, your spirit grows weary, yearning for something deeper, something real. Look at your life. Does it not feel like a dream you can never quite awaken from? But the dream is not reality. The ancient ones knew this. The cycle can be broken, but only when you stop running and begin to truly see. The secret that the wise have always known. But what if I told you that this truth has already been revealed? Thousands of years ago, great masters sought to awaken humanity, revealing that the endless race, the illusion of control, and the ache of emptiness are merely reflections of a deeper truth, a mental game. Yet few were ready to see. Jesus, Buddha, Socrates, Hermes Trismegistus, all delivered the same core message. The world you perceive is but a shadow, a mirage hiding the true essence of existence. But there is a way out. Jesus spoke of a kingdom not of this world. The kingdom of heaven is within you. But where did humanity seek it? Outside, among temples, rituals and distant leaders, never realizing that the key has always been within. Buddha taught that suffering arises from the mind's grasping at illusions, attachment, desire, fear, chains we forge ourselves. Socrates challenged certainty, unraveling belief until only pure awareness remained. He knew true wisdom is not about accumulating, but about stripping away. Hermes, the father of Hermetic wisdom, revealed it in a single phrase: as within, so without, as above, so below. What does this mean? It means that the world you experience does not happen to you. It happens through you. The universe is a mirror, reflecting your innermost state. When your heart is still, the world around you softens. When your thoughts are stormy, chaos follows. Your internal vibration shapes your external reality. Your external reality is nothing but a reflection of the world within. When you change the depths of your inner world, the external must follow. This teaching, though ancient, has been buried beneath layers of dogma and distortion. For centuries, it lay hidden in sacred texts and whispers of ancient sages. The Gospel of Thomas, a relic from the early Christian era, hints at a profound truth. If you bring forth what is within you will save you. If you do not bring it forth, it will destroy you. What does this mean? That the key to your liberation lies within, waiting to be revealed. The Hermetic teachings echo the same wisdom. The legendary Emerald Tablet, a cornerstone of the occult tradition, spoke not of turning metal into gold, but of transmuting the leaden weight of limiting beliefs into the golden light of awakened consciousness. This was never about physical alchemy. It was about mental alchemy, a transformation of the soul. Great sages like Hermes Trismegistus, Laozi, and Pythagoras understood that the universe reflects the state of the observer. As within, so without. As above, so below. These words are more than poetry. They are a map to the hidden nature of reality. And now, after centuries, science begins to catch up. Quantum physics confirms what mystics have long known. The observer changes the observed. The fabric of reality is not fixed, but bends under the influence of consciousness itself. The observer effect shows that reality responds to your perception, shifting with every thought and belief. But here lies the final barrier: your own mind. When you try to break the pattern, an avalanche of doubts and fears floods in. This is nonsense, whispers the mind. What if I fail? These are not your thoughts. They are echoes of a conditioned past, designed to keep you bound. The ancient masters knew the greatest illusion is believing that your mind is you. The greatest illusion woven by the mind is to convince you that it is you, that every fleeting thought, every whisper of fear or echo of the past is your true self. But the mind is not a conscious being. It is a survival mechanism, a shadowy mirror reflecting fragments of memories and projecting fears onto the future's empty canvas. For centuries, the wise have warned us of this trap. The ancient seers of the Upanishads called it avidya, ignorance of the self, while the mystics of Egypt spoke of the veil that separates man from true sight. Hermes Trismegistus whispered in the emerald tablet, "As within, so without. As above, so below." The truth has always been there, hidden in plain sight. You are not your mind. Allow me to share a story. A disciple once asked his master, "Master, my thoughts torment me endlessly. They drag me to the past, hurl me into the future. How can I find peace?" The master smiled gently and pointed to the river flowing nearby. "Look at that river," he said. "It moves without end, its current never stopping. But tell me, are you the river?" "No," replied the disciple. "I am merely watching it flow." "Exactly," said the master. "Your thoughts are like that river, endless and restless. The problem arises when you leap into the current and allow it to carry you away. Stay on the riverbank, watch without reacting, and you will find peace." The teaching here is profound. The mind will never stop generating thoughts, but you can choose whether to be swept away or remain an observer. In the ancient philosophy of Advaita, they call this non-duality. The realization that the self you believe in, the one carrying stories, traumas and memories, is nothing but a construct of the mind. The true self lies beyond thought, beyond identity. Think about it. Where is the past? It only exists in the fading echoes of memory. Where is the future? It lives solely in imagination. The only real moment, the only place where life truly unfolds, is now. The present is the gateway to freedom. Yet the mind resists this truth because its power crumbles in the present. When you are here, fully and completely, there is no room for fear, anxiety, or regret. You just are. And in that state of being, all suffering dissolves like mist in the morning light. Imagine this. You awaken in a darkened room, its walls wrapped in shadows. For as long as you can remember, this room has been your world. Its walls whisper familiar stories of who you are, what you should do, and what you cannot become. These stories feel true, yet deep inside, you sense there is something more, something beyond these walls. One day, a crack appears, a tiny fracture in the veil that has hidden reality from your eyes. Through it, you glimpse a light, faint, yet calling you home. That light is the present moment, the only doorway out of this illusion. The mind will try to hold you back. It will lure you with memories of yesterday and promises of tomorrow. It will flood you with noise, distracting you, pulling you deeper into the labyrinth. But stop. Just stop. Feel the air entering your lungs. Hear the stillness between sounds. This is your first step into freedom. You have always been the architect of your life, yet the matrix, the grand illusion, has convinced you otherwise. It told you that your life is shaped by external forces, the government, the economy, your past. But the real trap was never the chains around you. It was the belief that you were powerless. The great sages knew the secret. Jesus spoke of the kingdom of heaven within you. Buddha taught that liberation comes from releasing attachment to the stories of the mind. The truth was never hidden from you. It has always lived in your breath, in your awareness, in the silence of your soul. Now, the question arises, who is truly in control? The world will tempt you to remain a victim, to blame your circumstances. But every time you repeat the story of "I can't" or "I'm not enough," you build another brick in the prison of your mind. These are not mere words. They are spells that shape your reality. Yet, there is another way. You can choose to rewrite the story, to see obstacles as invitations, to stop waiting for salvation and realize that the power has always been yours. Those who awaken understand this. When they change within, the universe opens its doors to meet them. This is not luck, it is resonance. The frequency of your being attracts the reality you live in. Change your frequency, and the world around you changes with it. You are standing at the threshold. Beyond it lies a life that is not defined by fear, scarcity, or limitation, but by freedom, love, and boundless potential. Will you take the step? The ancient masters understood what few dare to comprehend today. The greatest truths are not found in the noise of the world, but in the profound depths of silence. In the quiet stillness of the soul lies a doorway, a gateway to the infinite. Hermes Trismegistus, the sage of antiquity, whispered to those who could hear, "As within, so without. As above, so below." His words were not merely philosophical musings, they were a map for those seeking to break free from the illusion. The matrix feeds on noise, on distraction, on the endless cycle of thoughts pulling you further from your essence. Your mind is filled with the clamor of notifications, headlines, and debates designed to keep you trapped in its labyrinth. But truth, like a hidden spring in the desert, only appears in the quiet moments of stillness. It is here that the soul begins to remember its origin. Meditation is not an escape, it is a sacred rite of return. A journey back to the forgotten temple within. Start with a single breath, not as a task, but as an offering, a step into the eternal present. Close your eyes, not to shut out the world, but to open the gates of the unseen. Observe your breath as if it were an ancient river flowing from the source itself, carrying the wisdom of countless lifetimes. At first, your mind will resist. It will pull you back into old patterns, whispering of distractions, fears, and endless to-do lists. But remain steadfast. In the space between thoughts, something miraculous happens. You begin to feel the presence of something greater, something beyond the layers of illusion. In that silence, freedom is born, but silence alone is not enough. The second step is to reclaim your attention from the system that feeds on it. This world thrives on your distraction, draining your energy through every notification and every pointless debate. It keeps you busy but never fulfilled. This is why digital fasting is a modern path back to clarity and power. Disconnect from the external noise and observe how your inner world responds. Try this. Take a day without social media, without endless scrolling, then stretch it to an entire weekend. Notice the discomfort at first, the strange feeling of emptiness. But that emptiness is not a void. It is the beginning of space, space for the real you to emerge. Soon you will realize that what you thought was loss was actually liberation. This space is your sanctuary. It is here that you begin to rewrite the story of your life. Everything you believe about yourself, what you can achieve, what you deserve, what is possible, was written by someone else's hand. Your ideas about success, love, happiness, and freedom were carefully crafted by a system that never wanted you to discover your true power. But now, the time has come to reclaim that story. Jesus, Buddha, Hermes, they all taught the same truth in different forms. The world you experience is a reflection of your inner state. Your vibration is your reality. When you vibrate fear, fear will meet you at every corner. But when you shift to abundance, the universe itself begins to rearrange, presenting opportunities that were always there, hidden just beyond the veil. This is not magic. It is the law of existence. Everything in the universe is energy, moving and resonating at frequencies. If you change your vibration, your reality has no choice but to follow. This is why ancient texts, such as the Emerald Tablet, spoke of transmutation, not of metals, but of the soul. Turning lead into gold was never about physical alchemy. It was about transforming the heaviness of old patterns into the radiance of higher consciousness. I am free, I am prosperous, I am aware. These are not mere affirmations, they are commands to the universe. Say them with the full power of your soul. As you speak them, feel the truth of those words. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between reality and imagination. It will respond, aligning your external world with the vibration you emit. And yet, the journey does not stop there. This is about more than just changing beliefs or habits. It is about something far deeper. It is about reconnecting with what you truly are. The Matrix has trained you to believe that only what can be seen and measured is real. But the ancients knew otherwise. The mystery of existence cannot be captured in equations or formulas. It must be felt, experienced, lived. The sacred is not a distant concept, locked away in temples or ancient books. It is in the warmth of the morning sun, in the quiet rustle of leaves, in the rhythm of your breath. The mystics called this the Logos, the divine essence that permeates all things. It is not something you must seek. It has always been with you. You only need to remember. Now that you've heard the call, the question remains, will you answer? Awakening is not a single event. It is a process, a gradual unveiling of the truth that has always been within you. The mind will try to pull you back into old patterns, whispering that it is safer to stay asleep. But you have seen the cracks in the illusion. You cannot unsee them. Step into the silence. Reclaim your power. Awaken. The great masters left us the map, but the journey is yours to take. It begins now, with your next breath. Breathe deeply, knowing that with every breath you come closer to the truth of who you are. The illusion fades, and the light within grows brighter. And now, a new reality awaits you. Once upon a time, there was a soul, like many others, caught in the web of the world. She walked the path that had been laid out for her, following rules, conforming to doctrines, and clinging to the safety of the known. This path, though familiar, left her feeling hollow, like a traveler who had lost their way but did not know how to find the right path. Then, one day, she heard a call, a whisper in the silence, soft yet undeniable. It was not from a distant place or a voice she could hear with her ears, but a call from within. It beckoned her to embark on a different journey, one of discovery, not dictated by rules, but shaped by an inner compass. It was a journey into herself, to reconnect with the divine essence that had always been there, buried under the weight of the world's expectations. In the beginning, she did not understand this essence. The ancients had called it Logos, the universal principle that transcends words, an energy that flows through all things but can only be felt, not explained. It was not confined to any belief system, but instead lived at the heart of every tradition, every myth, every sacred story. As she walked, she began to see the sacred in the smallest of things, in the silence of her breath, in the warmth of the sun kissing her skin, in the stillness of the present moment. She found it. She saw that it had always been here, hidden in plain sight, and all it took was the quieting of the mind to perceive it. It wasn't a distant, unreachable force, but the very essence of her own being, waiting for her to remember. But as she gazed deeper into this truth, something shifted. The illusion of separation fell away. She realized that she had never been disconnected from the divine, only taught to believe that she was. And with that revelation came a new reality. Her life, her very being, began to change. Her eyes were opened, and she saw the world not as it appeared, but as it truly was, woven together by the invisible threads of spirit. Yet even with this truth, the world did not change overnight. She still faced challenges, doubts, and fears. But now, she knew something crucial. These challenges did not define her. The fear, the uncertainty, the pain, they were simply passing moments in the great unfolding of her existence. and none of them could strip away the essence of who she truly was. The paradox of this awakening was clear. Everything had changed, yet nothing had changed. The world was still the same, but she no longer saw it through the veil of illusion. She saw it through the eyes of the divine. And now, standing at the crossroads of her own transformation, she was faced with the ultimate question: what will she do with this truth? For to know is one thing, but to act is another. Many know of the truth but choose to remain in the old patterns of fear and doubt. But she could no longer live in ignorance. The truth had awakened something inside her, and now the only way was forward. As she embraced this change, her life began to shift. Opportunities appeared where there were none before, and those around her noticed a subtle yet profound difference. It wasn't magic, but a deep internal transformation that radiated outward. Her world had changed, not because of some external force, but because she had changed on the inside. And now, dear seeker, your journey has just begun. You stand at the threshold of a great unknown, a world waiting to be explored, a truth waiting to be lived. The ancient path calls to you, whispering secrets hidden in the depths of existence. If you feel the pull, the gentle nudge from beyond the veil, join me as we continue to uncover the mysteries of life, spirit, and the unseen forces that shape our reality. Subscribe to Path to the Unknown and take the next step into the realms that lie just beyond the edge of perception. There is so much more waiting to be revealed, and this journey is far from over. See you on the other side.